There's one Damian Lillard trade that nobody seems to be talking about. Here's why they should. Just 24 hours after the start of NBA free agency, on July 1st, Damian Lillard and his camp requested a trade out of Portland. Since then, there have been reports of potential landing spots to the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers, San Antonio Spurs, Brooklyn Nets. But none, except a few select NBA insiders, are talking about the Utah Jazz as a landing spot. Let's talk about the team fit with the Jazz. Whether you are a Utah Jazz fan or a general NBA fan, there's reason to be excited about the prospect of Damian Lillard slotting in as the point guard for the Utah Jazz. First, Lauri Markkanen, acquired in a blockbuster trade, sending Donovan Mitchell to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last year, along with several picks and players, including Lauri Markkanen, has had an emergence as one of the best forwards in the NBA and being the most efficient at it. Lauri Markkanen is a perfect fit for Damian Lillard, as he doesn't require a high usage but remains extremely efficient. He is the first player in NBA history to record 100 dunks and 200 threes in a single season. Now, at a 7-foot frame, playing the small forward, Lauri Markkanen slots in perfectly next to Damian Lillard, as he can finish at the rim and allow Damian an option to kick it out for a three. Lauri Markkanen would easily be the best teammate Damian Lillard has ever had to play with. Now, let's talk about the other fit and potential teammate, Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler, who was also acquired after the Jazz decided to retool and rebuild last summer, was acquired as part of the Rudy Gobert trade. Was one among several players and had recently just been picked by the Timberwolves in the first round. Walker Kessler has had an emergence as one of the best young centers in the NBA, and it's easy to see why. Not only does he play defense at an elite level, and in his rookie season was a pretty productive Gobert replacement, the guy moves like a gazelle. He blocks shots, runs the floor, moves well laterally, and just impresses on both ends. The Jazz have also recently acquired in this offseason high-flying forward and center John Collins from the Atlanta Hawks. I think it's not a stretch to say that with the starting lineup of Damian Lillard, Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, and Walker Kessler, we could be seeing the emergence of Lob City 2.0. Call it Lob Lake City. Although Dame and his camp are requesting the trade be to the Miami Heat, there's a lot of reason to believe that Dame has love for the state of Utah and would play here. Besides the fact that he's on a 4-year contract with no trade clause, a lot of people don't know Damian Lillard actually played his college basketball at Weber State University, a college located in Ogden, Utah, for 4 years. Damian Lillard even dropped his debut album titled The Letter to O, referencing Oakland, Ogden, and Oregon, as well as showing love to Ogden in an Adidas campaign, quoting, "Oakland was the city that raised him, and Ogden was the city that had his back." Finishing his 4-year stint at Weber State University, Damian Lillard posted a highly impressive 24.5 points per game and was drafted 6th by the Portland Trailblazers in the 2012 NBA draft. Now, a lot of the trade talks around this potential Damian Lillard trade deal are focused on the Miami Heat, with a trade package of 3 first-round picks, Tyler Hero, and maybe a couple other players that they still have on their roster. Now, that's not a very empathetic approach to understanding why the Trailblazers would make a trade like that. They have just acquired guard Scoot Henderson in the draft with very high hopes, and they are looking to build around him as their future. Now, a team like Utah blows other teams out of the water with draft capital. They have 14 first-round picks through 2029, which are a mix of their own, Minnesota, Cleveland, and one Lakers pick in 2027. It's safe to say that should they choose to, the Utah Jazz have a lot more assets to offer than any other team in the hunt for Damian Lillard. This would provide the Portland Trail Blazers a lot of assets and flexibility to build around Scoot Henderson for their future. It would also provide the Utah Jazz a chance to compete. Now, I don't think you have to immediately become a championship contender for trades to make sense. The Utah Jazz are looking to improve, and a 32-point per game score doesn't come around often, especially in a place like Utah. In fact, the only player drafted in the last 10 years to surpass the 32-point per game threshold that Damian Lillard hit last season was Luka Doncic, who also scored 32 points per game last season. You're not going to find a pick in the draft with the scoring potential of Damian Lillard too often. I believe the Jazz could be a 50-win team with the addition of Damian Lillard and potential contenders. Now, on a side note, I actually think the Miami Heat, having players such as Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and even Omar Yurtseven leave their team this offseason and looking pretty bare bones, without acquiring Damian Lillard, I don't see this team even making the playoffs. Now, a hilarious aspect of this saga is that Danny Ainge and Pat Riley, executives of the Utah Jazz and the Miami Heat, have about as much love for each other as the stars of the hit Netflix show and dark comedy series Beef, Amy and Danny have for each other. Their feud stems all the way back to the 1980s, when as a player, Ainge matched up with the Celtics against Pat Riley, who was coaching the Lakers, in 3 finals matchups. As well as executives for the Celtics and the Heat, they got into it one season. Pat Riley, responding to a comment Ainge made, said Danny Ainge needs to shut the fuck up and manage his own team during the 2013 season. Now, I don't think it would be the motivating factor in acquiring Lillard for the Jazz, but I think to some extent, Ainge would take a little bit of pleasure knowing he pried away Damian Lillard from Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. Now, Joe Cronin, general manager for the Portland Trail Blazers, is quoted in reference to the Damian Lillard trade, saying, "If it takes months, it takes months." Now, I've got to believe it's probably better for the longevity of the Trailblazers to move Damian Lillard before training camp, and I think the Jazz would be a terrific option. If the asking price for the Trailblazers is just what the Jazz have, I could very well see Danny Ainge making a move before team training camp. And with Damian Lillard being locked down for 4 years, I could very easily see the type of player he is, just wanting to play, wanting to hoop, and being a terrific fit in Utah. Let me know in the comments below what team you'd like to see Damian Lillard play for. And if you'd like to see more content like this from a small market perspective, please subscribe, like, and comment.